Okay, I think it's important to say that you guys asked for this. So I've seen lots of comments over the past year asking if I would do an updated guitar collection video, because I do sell, buy new guitars, trade, all that stuff fairly often, so the collection does change quite a bit. That's why I kind of like don't really bother making these videos too often, because it changes a lot. And I think it's really important to note that these are guitars that I've collected over the past 20 years of playing. I started playing guitar when I was 16. These are not guitars that I've gotten in a week. Like I said before, I've done lots of trading, lots of selling guitars to buy other guitars. I still do that. I just sold 3 guitars, and you'll see a new one that you haven't seen on the channel yet here a little bit later in the video. But that's just kind of how I approach the stuff. If I don't play it, I don't keep it. It has to serve a purpose, and that purpose has to be playing it at the end of the day. There are very few guitars that I keep that I don't play. Some are sentimental reasons. Those I think are exceptions. I only have 2 or 3 of those, but everything else, if it doesn't play, it doesn't stay. Now, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the guys over at Sweetwater for sponsoring today's video. I will be linking all the stuff that I can down below for you. Guitars, amps, I'm going to be playing through the Dr. Z, I'm going to be playing through the Marshall, I'm going to be playing through the Fractal, doing all the stuff, kind of whatever suits the guitar the best, but most importantly, the guitars will all be linked down there for you. So, without further ado, I hope you're ready for an extremely long and nerdy video. I think I'm an incredibly boring person, so I don't usually like to talk this much, but here you go. You know, you wanted it, so nerdy guitar video, let's go. Okay, guitar number 1, a rather recent acquisition of mine, is this 1981 Ibanz Destroyer 2 DT300. Now, you guys have heard me rant, rave, and shout from the mountaintops how much I love this guitar. You're going to hear me say a lot of reoccurring words in here. This guitar is very inspiring. I love this guitar. It plays so great. You can make fun of me in the comments if you want to. I'm totally cool with that. I only keep guitars that have those similar qualities that are very inspiring. So I really fell in love with this body style when I got my Explorer 4 or 5 years ago, which you'll see here in a minute. But the Destroyer 2 took it to a whole nother level. Better layout in my opinion. It sounds incredible, very inspiring. But I would say this is my best playing guitar that I currently own. The nut needs a little bit of work. Sometimes it has some tuning issues, but as far as how the guitar plays, it is the easiest playing guitar that I own. The other guitar that it would rival this one in how easy it plays is the Rebsir that I have, and I just got it back, so I think I'm going to take this down to Glazier soon, let them kind of give it a once-over, and then get it to 100%, but the only thing I've done to it is I took it from 9s. It had 9-gauge strings when I got it, put 9.5s on it, and it is absolutely a perfect guitar. I can't recommend them enough. If you do get a Destroyer, make sure, like I said, it's a set neck. The DT300s in particular are really good, and this is just one of my favorite guitars ever. I'll say it here. I'll never get rid of this guitar unless I absolutely have to. So, on to the next. Oh man, one of the viewer favorites. So, the Friedman Cali. This one is, you know, we call it Sugar because it's white, or Sugar. And so many people love this guitar. This is the last Friedman that I have. I had a Strat at one point. I ended up selling that 3 or 4 years ago. Actually, I think I sold that when we moved. And then I sold the vintage T that I had, which was this killer looking vintage T, to a friend of mine who wanted it. And I'm like, well, I'm not playing it enough. You know, I'll sell it if you want it. But this one I won't be getting rid of. This is one of them when Grover was still making them, and Grover actually lives here in Tennessee now. I bump into him fairly often around town, and it's always cool. If you've ever gotten to meet Grover, he's such an awesome guy, and I love hearing all his stories. But he asked me, he's like, you still got this one? And I go, oh, absolutely, dude. This is one of them that he painted himself. Back then, there was like a period where I think he was painting all of them, and I don't know. It's just cool. People complained when I used it in videos that you couldn't see the fret markers because it has real tiny fret dots on there. So I put these stickers on it. Made it stick out a little bit more in videos. But Kind of the ultimate Super Strat if you want more of a rough and rugged Super Strat. That's how I would describe this one. It's not like the Reb that you'll see here in a minute that's very smooth and buttery. This thing is just, you know, it's sassy. That's a good way to describe it. Okay, so as egomaniac as it probably sounds to be like, this is the guitar that I've known for, because how is a nobody known for any guitar? But this is the one that everybody asks me about whenever I get to meet people in person. I get messages about it. Every time I use it in a video, people talk about how excited they are to see the KM back in a video. So this is a 1979 Les Paul KM. This was my first Les Paul outside of an Epiphone that I ever had. We got really, really lucky. We have a whole video on this one too. Me and Gabby, man, Mason was, I think Mason was a baby when we got this, and he's 13 now. So, you know, this was just something that, again, Gabby found, my wife found it, a listing on Guitar Center over in Indiana, and I just thought it looked so cool. I'm like, man, I love the way this thing looks. And had sold a bunch of stuff, had some money, and I was like, let's do it. And we just kind of on a whim went over there, got this thing, tried it out. I remember our credit card got declined and had to call the bank and be like, hey, no, this is us in a different state trying to buy this guitar. And I've seen different comments from people saying like, hey, I work at that Guitar Center. I know the Guitar Center you're talking about. It was in Indianapolis. But this is such a special guitar. These are very, very cool. 79 KMs. There's a whole history to them. And I mean, I used it a ton for many, many years. I still use it a lot, but it needs frets really, really bad, which that's going to be a video I'm going to document getting it refretted. But, you know, truly a special guitar. One of my number ones, if that makes sense. If you can have more than one number one. But sentimentally, this one and my Strat are top of the pile. Back from the graveyard. So this old thing, had this guitar a really long time. I usually refer to it as being a mutt. It's an 89 body, crackle body, with an 87 Model 1 neck. That's why people see it and they're like, I didn't know they came with maple. And I'm like, well, they didn't. The original neck got broken, not under my watch. The friend who I bought it from, Bill, back in Ohio, I think he kind of pieced this together. But that's why it's maple, because it's a Model 1 neck. I think that this is a custom Duncan pickup. And then the original Charvel neck pickup. But I recently had a ton of stuff done. I had the guitar completely overhauled. A reoccurring issue with all of these old Charvels is the neck pockets need to be recut. The angles, you know, messed up. And the guys at Glazers did such a great job. I thought about doing a video about it, but I also try not to bug those guys. Like, I appreciate their time so much down there that I'm like, well, I'll save a video for, like, you know, a really good topic that maybe you guys can learn something from as well. And this maybe would have been a good one, but I was just kind of like, you know, there's plenty of videos that we're going to do down there. But they recut the neck, fixed the frets, the issues that I had. Max did the frets. I think Nick did the net pocket, or maybe Adam. I can't remember who did what over there. I know Nick sent me a picture. He literally took the entire bridge apart, down to the screws, and sent me a picture of it. Just like the torture that I'm putting him through. And they did such a fantastic job. This guitar has literally never played as good as it is now. It is very out of tune. But it plays amazing, and I have it half step down. And the neck, I've never adjusted the neck once. You know, it is just as stable as it gets. So how can you guys stand to listen to me talk so much? Am I talking too much? Let me know. Like, let me know if I'm talking too much. another very cool guitar. If you haven't seen the video, I actually ordered this guitar from the guys at Novo, and they let me go through the entire build process over there. It took months of driving back and forth, and they live on the complete other side of Nashville from me. So it was a lot of work, a lot of scheduling with them, with Travis, with Mo, with everyone over there. It was just such a cool experience. And the Solus is such a cool guitar. I tried the whole line of them that they had when I went over there maybe 2 years ago. And this model in particular really jumped out at me. If you ever get to play a Novo, dude, they are feather light. It's tempered, or it's pine. I can't remember what they do to it. They dry it out really well, though. And then the necks are something, as soon as you grab one, you'll just be like, man, that neck is so good. I can't believe it's in tune. I haven't tuned this thing in months. So it has an intonated wraparound bridge on it. Just a rock and roll machine, man. You know, that's another phrase you're probably going to hear me say a bunch. A rock and roll machine. So there you have Novo Solus. Talk about a guitar that look how big this thing is. A guitar that I hunted for many, many years. And man, I've wanted a Gretsch for so long, and I played so many of them, and I just didn't love them. I'm like, I played a few. I played a few vintage ones that I really liked, but they just get so expensive. I'm like, I can't do it, you know, because I know that this isn't like a daily driver for me, but it's a guitar that has so much vibe and texture to it that I'm like, I really, really want one. So I think I looked for 3 or 4 years, playing every Gretsch that I came across, and what I really kind of like whittled it down to was that I wanted a Falcon or a 6120, but I ended up like, I really wanted a Falcon. Hard to get on camera the right way, but as soon as I played it, I'm like, dude, I think I titled the video, like, I didn't know a guitar could sound this good. And that is an accurate representation of this thing, because it just sounded stunning. And I mean, like, literally I took it out of the case. It wasn't even fully in tune yet. And I started writing a song, you know. I can't remember what the song was. It's in the video. But when that happens, I'm like, that's a good guitar. I like that guitar. And I was happy to have a Gretsch. So I haven't like looked anymore. I'm like, I don't need a bunch of Gretsches. I'm not a Gretsch guy. But there's no denying the sound that it has. And I've had a lot of, you know, people who I really trust about tone and guitars say the old ones are great. They kind of recommended getting a new one of the, you know, the made in Japan ones, and that's what this is. So very cool guitar. And I'm also a huge Black Crowes fan. So it's like a win-win. My makeshift Glaser Telly. So this is one of the Fender American Vintage 2 guitars that came out a couple years ago or something like that, that I still think that the ones that I've played, I've heard, you know, different things. People might get a lemon every once in a while, but the ones that I have played have all been awesome. And this one in particular, I had a Strat. I ended up getting rid of that, but the 63 Telly was such a good guitar. Now, I've done tons of stuff to this thing at this point, including spilling super glue on it and it eating through the paint. So these are nitro finished guitars. And I had Glaser put their new saddles on there, which those are super cool. They actually did change the sound of the guitar, made it a little bit more snappy. I have a bender put in it that is not active right now because I haven't had him put it back in there yet. But I've done videos on all of this stuff, on the saddles, installing a bender. If you don't know what a bender is, check that video out. I'll try to remember to link all this stuff. What else have we done? The triple tree. You know, Joe doesn't make guitars anymore, so I'll probably never own an actual Glaser Telly. But this one kind of gave me the idea. I'm like, well, what if we did all the mods? Like, we're going to do a middle pickup mod. If we did all the mods that they offer, and it's like, I'll kind of have my own version of a Glazer Tele. You know, it's still a Fender, but it's still, you know, it'll be cool to me because there'll be a lot of sentimental reasons why I won't get rid of this guitar. So, anyways, 63 American Vintage 2, great sounding Tele, plays great. I mean, that's part of the reason why I got rid of my Esquire, was I liked this thing so much. So, there you have it. If you don't have one, you gotta get one. So I am a massive Danelectro fan. I love the guitars. They are just one of the most unique feeling and playing guitars. Yeah, I mean, they have a sound. That is what is so inspiring to me. Now, I got this guitar maybe 8-9 years ago. It's a 12-string. If you don't have an electric 12-string, you're missing out. I'm telling you, it's probably not in tune. They are so fun. And what's the word I'm looking for? Inspiring. It's inspiring. But I think these are fairly affordable. The prices might have, I mean, I'm sure they've went up since when I got mine. But just, I can't recommend 12 strings enough. They bring out a different side of your playing. Every guitar that I've shown you so far makes me play them a little bit differently. Super Strats are probably a little bit more like in the same realm of that 80s vibe, but different guitars really do bring out different sides of your playing, and a 12 string will do that all night and all day. So get yourself a 12 string. This is a 59X. Look at that. They put the name on there. I can't even mess this one up. 59X12. Oh, you know it's 80s time when the Voyager comes out. Now, it's no secret to anybody who watches the channel regularly, I am a huge, massive Reb Beach fan. I absolutely love Reb's playing. One of my all-time favorite guys. Just guitarists in general. I mean, definitely one of my favorite 80s guitarists, but one of my favorite guitarists just of all time. And I always thought his Voyager was so cool. This one came up for sale on Reverb a couple years ago. I bought it, funny enough, ends up being from another YouTube guy. So Joe, if you're watching this, your guitar is still getting played. I still love it, man. Joe makes great videos too. And it's such a cool guitar. Funny story, Reb did not like these. He thought they were not very good. He had a Koa version of this that he said was really good, and he liked it. That predates his Sir stuff, obviously, because it's Ibanz. But he was not a huge fan of this, the more affordable Voyagers. And I've thought about putting EMGs in here, because I've really fallen in love with EMGs. But Voyager's just a cool, vibey Super Strat. It feels, like, it looks weird, but it feels and plays just like a normal Super Strat. But it is cool, and it gets people's attention. As soon as they see it, they're like, "You've got a Voyager?" And as soon as they know what it is, I'm like, all right, we're friends. We are friends. Okay, now this is one that I'm not going to know a lot about as far as specs go. This guitar was a gift from a friend of mine, Adam, my buddy Adam, my guitar shopping, 80s concert going to brisket taco getting buddy, who lives pretty close to me. You know, he gave me this guitar, and I thought that was really cool of him. It's a 90s body of a Jackson, and I don't know the story. I can't remember what he told me about the neck. Adam is just, you know, he sets guitars up. They play so good, and he works on at Glazer's. We've just become really good friends, and it's just a cool guitar. I mean, you've seen it in some Instagram posts. You'll see it in YouTube videos here pretty soon. But I've had this one, I don't know, I want to say 4 or 5 months, something like that. So you haven't seen it a whole lot, but it's an awesome guitar. It's this really cool dark blue, and man, it's just a shredder. So what a cool guitar. Whew, it's getting hot in here. All this talking. So here is the Rebsir. Like I said, huge Rebsir fan. So this is one of the most recent guitars that I've gotten. I had to trade in a bunch of stuff to get it, and more than worth it. This is the guitar that I was talking about earlier that I feel rivals the Destroyer of how easily it plays. And I just had some stuff done to it. The nut needed dropped a tiny, tiny bit. And you know, the guys at Glazers did an awesome job. Because when you drop the nut on your, like a Floyd Rose guitar, you actually have to take the nut off and then get the wood from underneath the locking nut. Which, you want someone who really knows what they're doing to do that. And they did that. They intonated it for me. It needed a little tweaking on the intonation. And the thing is, it plays even better now than it did before. So it might actually play better than the Destroyer at this point. It is just one of the most, I don't even know the word for it, just awe-inspiring guitars that I've ever owned. As soon as I played it, I knew, I'm like, I have to have this guitar. You've seen the video. I did a video on it already. But yeah, I can't recommend these enough. This is one of the solid Koa ones. They seem to be bringing out another model that is not solid. It's just a Koa top. But it's just an incredible guitar. I think if you're into Super Strats, you're into this kind of thing, you probably will not find a more inspiring guitar than this one. So Reb, you and the guys at Sir made one of the coolest guitars ever, and I will have this guitar forever. Hopping back into the Eddie territory. Look at this thing. Man, this one, I used it in a recent video, and you guys were all kind of freaking out about it, which I did a video on this a long time ago, but apparently a lot of you did not see it. And the top on this thing is wild. The neck is crazy flamed. Music Man just makes some truly, truly fantastic guitars. Obviously, this one, for me, is coming from the Eddie Van Halen camp. You know, Eddie's my all-time favorite guitarist. He's why I started playing guitar. And I wanted one of his guitars from more of like the Van Hagar era stuff, from when I'm doing Van Hagar videos. And some people don't like you calling it Van Hagar. And I don't know. It's words, man. It's not that big of a deal. You know, I don't love the way Eddie's actual guitars were laid out. They were laid out obviously for him, but it is not a way that I like a guitar to be laid out. So when I was looking at the Axis Super Sport, which is what this one is, I was like, it's perfect. It has a tone knob. I like having a tone knob. I like the switch being down here, a volume knob, not as Floyd Rose, just a normal 2-point trim, and not a locking nut, which is all the things that I wanted in this guitar. So I can do all the cool EVH stuff, and it's still not a complete EVH copy. It's got its own thing going on too. The 80s are alive and well over here. So this little beautiful gem is a 1992 RG550. And I had an original 87 RG550 in 5-alarm red that was super clean, like time capsule clean. I sold that one. I don't remember what I bought with it. It was like in a lot of guitars that I sold. I think I sold. That was one of the ones I sold for the Reb, and you know, that guitar was super, super cool. But I definitely liked this one more. It's so played in. It just feels great. You know, Ibanez have a very unique feel to them. You know, the necks are extremely unique for sure. But this one's pretty much all original. A really cool story with this one was my wife found it as we were leaving Guitar Center in Ohio. It was behind the counter. And she was just like, isn't that one of those Ibanez that you like? Because I'll show you some of her guitars here in a second. She likes Ibanez. And I looked behind the counter. I'm like, oh, it is. It's a 550. And they handed it to me, and they're like, yeah, we just got it in. Someone, like, sold it to or traded it in or whatever. And I was like, can I buy it? They're like, well, you can buy it, but you can't take it home. It has to... And they said I could buy it, but I couldn't take it home. It had to sit there for a week to make sure that it wasn't stolen. And if it, cleared, I could come back in a week, pick it up. And that's what I did. And it's such a cool guitar. Like this is, obviously this thing was rocked and rolled because it plays great, but it has been played a lot. The frets still have some life in them, but the fretboard has, dude, it's had some notes on it. Look at that. It's so cool. It just means this guitar was loved on, man. It was loved and played, and a lot of notes and a lot of music have probably come out of this thing. So I'm happy to get to add my own little bit onto it, because one day hopefully this will go on to someone else, and they'll do the same with it, and they'll love 80s and all the super strats as much as I do. We gotta talk about the HB 335. Now, what does HB stand for? You're probably like, I'm not familiar with that model of Gibson. And I'm like, oh, it stands for hillbilly. Because I'm a hillbilly. And what I've done to this thing, people usually laugh about. So I got this guitar from Carter's last year. Again, traded some stuff in on it and had to pay a little bit out of pocket, but it made it very affordable to get. Now, it did not have a Bigsby on it. And I gotta say, a huge influence on me wanting this guitar was going and seeing my buddy Corey Congilio play so much here at the Underdog around town. And he has this really cool vintage. This is not vintage. This is a custom shop 60 335. But he has an actual vintage one in his Collings. And I'm like, just seeing him play it. And I've played his, and it plays so good. And I'm like, man, I think I need a 335. It just has a sound to it and a vibe. But it did not have a Bigsby on it. So since it wasn't vintage, it didn't bother me, drilling a couple holes to put this in here. I didn't do it. The guys at Glazers, once again, did it. You're going to hear me say that a bunch. They do all the stuff for me. And I don't know. I just think the world of those guys. So anytime I can promote them, you're going to hear me say it, because, like I said, I just think the world of them. But, yeah, I mean, it's just a custom shop 335. Sounds great. It left 2 holes in here because you have to take that stop bar out. So I didn't want to get a custom plaque. I discovered that you could take your the leftover stop bar, and if you put it in backwards and put it on there, it doesn't really hit the strings. It doesn't affect your tuning, and it just kind of looks normal, even though it's underneath the strings. So everyone thinks it's normal, and then they look at it and they're like, "Wait, is that?" And I'm like, "That's right. It's underneath the strings," because I'm a hillbilly. And that's how you hillbilly rig a 335. The hero worship continues. The EVH Frankie. Now, this is for any Eddie Van Halen fan. I think everyone I know who's like a real diehard Eddie fan has one of these. Because they made another version back in like 2007, 2008 that were like 20 grand or something like crazy. Like, normal people like myself can't afford something like that. So we got these when they came out. These are made in Mexico. They are hand relic, I believe, which adds a lot of of the cost to it. But what a cool guitar! I remember me and my buddy Michael Nilsson tried these the winter NAMM that they came out. We went up to the EVH booth and we were playing them, and we're like, man, the neck feels really good on these, and it does. Over the years, it's definitely needed some work to it, but I mean, it's still it's a very inspiring guitar to play, because it makes you feel like you're playing your hero's guitar. And man, if any guitar makes you play for any reason, I think that there is nothing wrong with it. Some people don't like signature gear, and more power to you, but dude, sometimes you still want to feel like that little kid in your bedroom playing Van Halen, or dreaming of the day that you can play some Van Halen. And some of us are still dreaming of that day when you can play Van Halen right. But until then, I'll keep plugging in this thing, playing it, and it's just a cool guitar. It's special for many reasons. Now, this one I did not purchase myself. Fender ended up giving this to me. It was right after Eddie passed. I asked if I could borrow this to do some Eddie videos. I wanted to do like some tributes to him. And they sent it to me, and they just liked all the videos I did so much that they were nice enough to say, just keep it. So while the majority of the guitars I have purchased myself, but I always want to be straight up with you guys that this one when I made the videos, I did not know it was mine. And when I was done with the videos, I was like, hey, I can send that guitar back. The guys over there were just like, you know what, man, we like the video so much, why don't you just hang on to it? So I always thought that was really cool. And I'll never get rid of it because it was given to me, and, you know, it's just a special guitar. I mean, who is even still watching at this point? If you're here, leave a comment, still watching, you know, at whatever timestamp this is. I'd be curious to know. Is anybody still here? So this, another special guitar, but I might be launching this one kind of soon. And it's such a cool guitar. I love Firebirds. It's a 63. This one I got from good old Uncle Larry. I bought this. This was the first guitar I bought in Nashville, actually. And I bought it from him 2 years ago. So I need to ask Tom, before I sell it, I'm going to ask Tom if he wants it back. And I think Tom had like 5 or 6 birds at the time, and we just played them all. And, you know, this is just the one that I gravitated to the most. And the neck is absolutely amazing. Anybody who comes over here and plays, they're like, oh, what's that bird? You know, they play it, and they're like, dude, and this middle position on it is like to die for. So I think I'm talking myself out of selling it. Actually, the more I talk about it, maybe I won't sell it. But it's cool, man. You know, it's got some little like quirks to it, like the little like telly input jack on there. It's not all original. It's got, you know, it's been routed for a tune-o-matic. Not routed, but like adjusted. I think Nick and the guys at Glazers did this. I'm not totally sure about that. But, you know, cool guitar, and apparently Uncle Larry approved. Okay, now you guys have probably seen this guitar a lot in the background, but I haven't played it very much here recently, and there's multiple reasons for that. So I'll start off by just saying what it is, and I'll explain why I kind of don't play it anymore, but I'm also not getting rid of it. This is an 89 Gold Top. Now this is a birth year guitar for me, so any fellow 1989ers out there, you know, light it up in the chat. Represent 1989. I got this guitar when I turned 30 as just kind of like a, like I thought, you know, it's a milestone. You know, it's one of hopefully many milestones. And I wanted a guitar. And I had just gotten back from China, and I played a Gold Top over there that had humbuckers, and I'm like, I think I really want a Gold Top. And it's an amazing guitar. It sounded really good. The bridge pickup I think I changed for the Friedman pickup that was in my Vintage T. And other than that, that's all I've done. The 89s were kind of a weird one because they came with a pickup called a P100, which was a silent P90 that a lot of people did not like. So someone had already taken those out. I still have them, and they put an Antiquity in here, and I forget what the bridge was, but it was something different, and I switched it and made it sound a lot better, in my opinion. But why this guitar doesn't get played is it is the guitar that has handled the move to Nashville the worst. The neck was always a little bit squirrely when you got big season changes, like in Ohio going from winter to summer. It would move a little bit. This thing has been wild down here. It swings a lot. So some people say it takes a couple years for a guitar to really adjust to a new climate. Like Nashville is so different from Ohio. But yeah, it's had the hardest time. So for now, it's just kind of been sitting over there. Every once in a while, I get it, I adjust the truss rod, get it playing right, and then play it for a little bit, and then, you know, see it. Hopefully it doesn't change anymore. So, you know, you might see this one more, but until now, or for now, I should say, it is just kind of, is what it is. It's a cool guitar. I'm not getting rid of it. It was a special guitar, but, you know, for now, it just is what it is. More big old guitars. So one of the things I like about the Explorer body is, for me, it's incredibly comfortable to play. If you're like myself, over 6 foot tall, kind of bigger, I mean, like, these bigger guitars just feel more comfortable. Some guitars are small and they look like, you know, toys or something when you're playing them. I just like these. They just feel comfortable. They look like a normal guitar, sitting on your lap, standing up with them. And like I said, this is the guitar that completely changed my mind. I never had an Explorer. I got this during COVID. Someone was selling it, you know, pretty cheap, and I was like, well, I've always wanted an Explorer. I wanted to play one. I got it and couldn't believe how good it was. Now, when I got it, it was in very rough shape. But I will say, everybody who comes over and plays this guitar, you know, some of my guitars are actually not here right now. They're spread across Nashville, but the majority of them are here. That's why I decided to do the video now, because I don't know if there will ever be a point when they're all home at the same time now. But everybody who plays this, they're like, man, what is this thing? I'm like, it's just a 2018 Explorer. Like, it is nothing special. When I got it, though, the action was way off the fretboard. I ended up needing to replace the volume pot and the tone pot. This pickup was leaning really bad, and the neck needed some work on the frets, because this was someone's touring guitar. And actually, the person who sold this to me, funny enough, watches the channel. So if you're watching this, man, your guitar is still getting played. I keep it a full step down now. That's why you guys don't see it as much. You see the Destroyer more. But it's just, I'm so pumped up for it. It made me fall in love with these style of guitars. And I want to get a Dean Z is another one that I'm looking for. That's also an Explorer body style. But, I mean, you can't get cooler than a good old Gibson Explorer. This one with a black guard, I just think looks cool. Okay, I gotta be honest with you. I'm winding down here. So we might not make it to all of them. There's just a couple guitars. There's like one of the George Lynch ESP, the Tiger ones. You see it in some videos. It's a super affordable one. When I got them, I think they were $399, and I think they've jumped to like $599 now or something. It's crazy. But I did want to at least show this one. I'll show you my acoustic, and I'm gonna show you my wife's guitars. But this is the Nick Bocott Kramer. It's the only Kramer that I've ever owned, and it's such a cool guitar. If you know Nick, he works at Sweetwater now, does a lot of their videos. Nick is just the coolest guy, total sweetheart, and I appreciate Nick a lot. When I found out he was getting a signature guitar with Kramer, I was like, I gotta get one. And I did a video on it, and hopefully I'll be going to Sweetwater pretty soon, and I want to do a couple of videos with Nick. I've talked, you know, text with him and stuff, and we have a couple ideas stewing, so you might be seeing Nick on the channel here soon. But overall, a cool guitar, a really, really cool guitar, and I think I'm going to take it with me when I go up there and see if I can get Nick to sign it. It's kind of already signed. You see a little Grim Reaper there, but see if he'll double sign it for me. So Kramer, Nick Bocott, gotta show it to you, because Nick's the man. Now, I want to point something out. If you do not see a guitar that you're like, where is like the PRS or something like that? I recently sold the PRS to get something else. I sold the PRS, sold the Fender Strat. I traded in a bunch of guitars to get some stuff. So again, a broken record, but that's just how I afford to buy guitars. Okay, let's keep the train a-rolling. So Les Paul, maybe not. Heritage, kind of is a Les Paul. If you know, you know, as much as I hate that expression. This is the Heritage H150, another fairly recent acquisition, and it is just an incredible sounding and feeling playing guitar. I use this one a ton. I think it has the Antiquity pickups in there. This was my first real experience with Heritage. I'd played a 535 before. I played some H150s. They weren't the aged ones, and I didn't love them quite as much, even though they were still really good. But this one in particular, such a good guitar. And just has that real Jimmy Pagey, you know, it's super twangy with the Antiquity pickups in there. It's not like my my KM. The KM's like, you know, more rough and gruff. This is kind of like clean and chimey, and it's that whole Telly on steroids thing. So H150. Blondie in the house. So, you guys know this story of this guitar by now, but if you're new and you don't, this is still a guitar I get asked about a lot when I use it in videos. This is my 63 Fender Strat. Now, this is a real 63, not like the Telly that was American Vintage 263. So, when people ask me what pickups are in here, I'm like, well, these are the original pickups that would have, you know, been around back in 1963. Now, there were lots of influences on me wanting a 63. So many of my favorite players played 63 Strats. I just remember reading about them. Like, you hear about Keith Scott playing a 63. Obviously, Stevie Ray Vaughan had some, you know, lineage there with a 63. Philip Sayce plays a 63. And for my whole life, I thought Dan Huff played a 63 too, but he apparently plays a 64, which we just found out in Mason's video like a year ago. And I'm like, man, he plays a 64? But I still love this guitar, and luckily enough, I got to know the entire story of this guitar. You know, that's a whole different video that I've done many years ago. And I recently changed the pickguard on it. Adam, who gave me the Jackson, gave me a pickguard because the one I had wasn't like period correct for this, and he had one laying around that was like a custom shop one or something, and he just gave it to me, and I swapped them out, and it does look better, more accurate. But it's, I mean, this thing's gotten some nicks and dings on it now from the last video I've done, and I just love it. It's such a good guitar. I did a refret on it with the guys down at Glazier's. You can check that out if you want to, but it's just a truly magical instrument, man. It's super inspiring. It is the definition of my dream guitar. It's what I always wanted. I wanted a 63 Strat, and I got it. And it, you know, it completely quenched the thirst for Strats. Like, I never look at a normal Strat anymore. I'm like, it'll never beat my 63. So why am I even looking at it? So that is the story of Blondie, the 63 Strat. I call it Blondie. I name some of my guitars. I know there's like this whole like movement of like, it's so uncool to name your guitars. And I'm just like, well, I've never been cool. So I guess I'll continue on the path of being uncool. And there you have it. Blondie, the 63 Strat. Alright, now my acoustic portion is going to be very short because I only own one acoustic. I'll show you my wife's acoustic. She has a really, really nice one. But this is my Martin HD28. I'm pretty simple when it comes to acoustic. I just kind of like, I just like Martins. I like the D28 sound. I love it to be big. And I don't play acoustic very much. But this one's been in its case for a little bit. I have had a chance around town at Grunes and Carter's and stuff like that to play really old Martins, and wow, they sound magical. It is crazy how good an old Martin sounds. Now, having said that, for my purposes, I think this thing sounds amazing. And it just does everything I need it. I'm not really an acoustic player, but sometimes when I'm writing music, I love an acoustic texture. Just some simple strummy stuff, you know. The wrong pick for this kind of thing. I got a thick pick, but you know, just little strummy bits here and there. And I dig it, man. Acoustic is a whole different thing. Again, you play it differently than other guitars, but Martin HD28, another guitar that the prices have went up a lot on them since I got mine, because I've had this one for a while. But, you know, I have no need for another acoustic guitar, and you'll probably never see me get another one unless I get rid of this one to get some other Martin. But yeah, that's my acoustic. And then now I will show you my wife's guitars. Okay, so unlike me, who is completely obsessed with guitar, my wife has some really nice guitars like this one, and I do not play her stuff at all. We are two extremely different people when it comes to how we play instruments. She likes to keep everything perfect, clean, pristine. She, doesn't hit it on stuff. And I'm very much like a bull in a china shop situation. I'm clanging stuff around, just trying to get to my guitars. Nothing to be disrespectful to the instruments. I'm just like, there's an idea. I'm like, oh, I want this guitar. And I just grab it. And, it is what it is. I buy them to be played. I don't really look at them. I just play them. But this is her Goodall, RG. I don't know what this model is called. I won't know anything about her guitars. If you haven't looked up Goodall guitars, they're really, really fascinating. This is one of the best playing acoustics that I've ever played. Now, what does that mean coming from a player like me? Absolutely nothing. It means literally nothing, because I don't know anything about acoustics. So it's just a whole different world. But this one, like the notes, they like feed into each other and almost make a harmonic. It's a really cool guitar. Like I said, if I wasn't afraid to play it, I'd play it more. But this is her guitar. These are, just incredible handcrafted instruments. I think they were originally out in Hawaii, but maybe they're out in California now. But look up the Goodall Company. Really, really cool. It's a family business. I think it's like 3-4 people. It's a dad, a son, and then a mom. I think that's it. So special guitars. Goodall. Check that one out. All right, so just 2 guitars. And like I said, we'll end them with my wife's guitar. So this is her, what year is it? 2007 Fender American VG. Now, they kept the VG line going. I think they started making them in Mexico. If you don't know what that means, it was really cool. Pretty, like, ahead of its time, really. It has a Roland pickup here, and you could change the tuning of the guitar, the style of the guitar. You could make it a baritone, 12-string, make it sound like a humbucker, an acoustic, without actually retuning the guitar. It kind of like digitally would retune your guitar. So you kept it in standard tuning, but you could flip it and it would be a baritone. You could keep it in standard tuning, and it could be an open G. So it was cool. It sounded good, but it's kind of dated when you hear it. Now, the cool thing about this particular guitar, me and my wife have known each other since high school. And I remember going into the local music store, Bet Your Own Music, and seeing this guitar, and Dave, one of the salesmen there, or maybe it was Chris, telling me about it. I mean, I was, a kid. And I remember you plugged it in, and when you have a battery in it, this little light lights up blue. And I'm like, what a cool guitar. And we were like, me and my buddy Steven were messing around with it and playing it and stuff. And then I went back there a couple days later, and they're like, oh, someone bought it. I'm like, oh, wow, okay. Well, it was, I couldn't afford it anyways. I just wanted to play it again. And come to find out, it was Gabby. She bought it. So I ended up getting to have that guitar anyways. So, just the universe works in strange ways sometimes. So this was her guitar. She's had it since she was a kid, like myself. And, cool guitar, cool story, and it's one that she'll never get rid of. And I think her mom still asks her about it. Like, do you still have that Strat that we got? She's like, yep, I still got it. So, cool guitar, American VG. If you haven't checked them out, they're really fascinating. And the final guitar is an Ibanz, funny enough. So this is the newest guitar in the house. She just recently got this. She only has 3 guitars, like I said, because she's a sane human, and unlike me, who is an insane human. A special guitar for a couple different reasons. So she had one of these back in 2008 or 2009. I can't remember when she had the original one. But she just recently was like, I always wished that I wanted that guitar again. We had to sell stuff back in the day to pay for baby formula and do all that kind of stuff. I still have 2 guitars I wish I could track down. An old Strat and an Ibanz RGA that I had that was all natural, but you got to do what you got to do. Dad mode. But she just happened to mention this guitar, or I think I mentioned to her, I was like, do you ever want one of those Ibanez like you had again? And then I think a few days later, she brought it up, and it's a weird model that you can't find very often, especially not the white ones. You can find the black ones with the rosewood, all that kind of stuff. You don't find this particular one. I can't remember the exact model. But she's like, do you remember that Ibanz I used to have? I was like, yeah. I said, I was just talking about it the other day. And of course, and this just shows you how nerdy I am. I can't remember the model number. I'm like, yeah, that was the one that had the tone zone, bridge pickup, the true velvet in the middle. And she's like, how do you remember this stuff? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know why I am the way that I am. But yes, I remember that Ibanz. And sure enough, Carter's happened to have one. No one else, not even Reverb, has any of these. Carter's happened to have one of this exact model that someone had in there on consignment that had been sitting there for like a year. So I ran down there real quick, tried it, played it. I'm like, everything works on it. And it's in like almost like new condition. Even the headstock isn't chipped. The little point on Ibanez always gets chipped. So after I tried it, I told her, I was like, hey, everything's fine. Like, do you want it? And she said, yeah. So we went ahead and got it for her, and she's been playing it. And that's what led to us. I was like, she's like, do you have that old book that we used to learn stuff out of? Because we used to practice together. And I was like, this one? And I just ordered this off of Amazon. So really cool, if you're looking for a cool instructional book, check out the Shred Guitar, Secrets of Shred Guitar by Dave Celentano, whatever it is. And it's a great, great book. So she's been playing all kinds of stuff, got her amp and everything. And I don't know, just a cool guitar. All right, homies, I think that's going to be it. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Like I said before, apologies for just being such a nerd about stuff. But maybe you got something out of it. Thanks for even being interested in a video like this. I love talking about guitars. They're just, I mean, it's a passion, it's a hobby, it's a job, it's everything to me. So hopefully you got something out of it. Play your guitars, more importantly than anything else. You know, instead of buying the next guitar, just play the one you got even more. And if you find one that has something that you're missing, then get that one. But I think I'm gonna go play my guitar. I think I've done enough talking. I think it's time to get playing. So I will see you all later. Hope you'll have a good rest of your day, and see you soon. Later, homies.